Hey folks, it's Wayne Polson, and today is T-minus 11 days and counting until that big reveal on April 2nd, and I'm going to have to cross-check that number just to make sure I'm correct because I'm losing track of the count for some reason, folks. Anyway, today I'm going to invite you guys along to watch me repair the power entry module on my RV here. This is an '07 Thor Hurricane, or Four Winds Hurricane. This was the power entry module that came out of that hole right there. And the reason I'm having to replace this is, if you look at this, you notice something is awry. Something's not right. Something's wrong. It got stinking hot, folks. It got very hot. And I think the reason it got so hot is because there was a poor mating connection between this contact and the power cord. And it was creating a resistive connection, and that resistive connection creates a voltage drop, and the voltage drop and the resistance together create heat. So I think that's what went on here. As a matter of fact, it was so melted I had a hard time getting that screw out. So I'm going to replace that today. Let me show you the other end of the story. This is the cable side. See that? So I think there was a problem right in here somewhere. So I'm replacing this as well, but not in this video, folks. Sorry about that. All right, now, or maybe lucky for you. So here is the new power entry module, right here. And as you can see, it's very nice and shiny. The back side, everything's nice and neatly color-coded. We have a ground connection, we have a neutral, we have a hot. And it comes with the little enclosure for inside the camper. And it also comes with another one of these little gaskets. Okay, so we're going to replace that. Let me talk to you about the wire here, folks. There's quite a bit of length on this wire, so I had to cut these back. I didn't show that in the video, but the black wire here was pretty badly damaged, so I cut these back to where I've got good clean insulation. There are no nicks and cuts in this, and the conductor length here, I've got about 5/8 to about 3/4 of an inch here. I'd say 5/8. And notice that the ground wire, this one right here, this is the ground safety wire, is longer than the other two. And that is by design, folks. The reason for that is if you should happen to pull this connector off and these wires expose themselves, the last thing to come out is going to be the ground connection. It will remain intact, meaning that it'll still be connected to the power cord and hopefully creating a safety path for current to ground in case you were to touch one of these things or whatever. So this ground wire is always left longer whenever you're installing a power cord connector. So just remember that, folks. Little tip there. All right, so I've got these dressed to length. I'm going to go ahead and take my wiring here, and I'm going to go up behind. By the way, this is just a little retainer here. Okay, I'm going to go up through there. Pull these wires out. And as you can see there, I've got a little bit of a reveal of the outer jacket of insulation coming behind the retainer. I'm going to tighten that down right now so that I don't lose it. And if you don't have one of these things, man, you need to get one. It is cool. A little DeWalt cordless screwdriver. It's gyroscopic. It just knows what direction you want to go by twisting your wrist. It's pretty cool. Get this snug. Don't over tighten it, folks. You know me and over tightening things. All right. This is done. Now you may ask, wait a minute, didn't you forget your rubber grommet? No, I did not. We're going to stretch it over the front like this. Okay, how's that sound? There we go. So now this is ready to go in the hole. There we go. And we'll tune all that stuff up as we go. All right, the next thing is we're going to take this power entry module that we have here. We're going to make sure the screws are loose. Now don't go crazy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn the torque on this down a little bit so it doesn't end up over torquing something as I'm using it. Okay, looks like we're open there. All right, so what we've got going on here is I've got the green wire taking the ground. The white wire is lined up for this hole with the white paint. The black wire is lined up for the black hole. I'm just going to put all these in place like that. And I'm going to take my handy dandy DeWalt, make sure these wires are seated in as deeply as they can go. There's one. There's the ground. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, just to make sure that everything's nice and snug, I'm going to take a regular screwdriver now and finish the job. Because you don't want these to be loose. Now, if you're going to tighten anything, please tighten these good and tight, because you don't want a resistive connection. You want these connections to be nice and solid so that there's no buildup of heat across these connections. Now the trick is going to be to get this in the hole. So what we do is we put a little bit of a relief loop in there, just like that. And now we're going to let the screws do the rest of the work. Okay, now for these screws, you can use either a Phillips bit or a square bit. I prefer the square when I'm using these. I'm going to draw these screws in sort of equally here so that it draws the power module in equally. Okay, folks, that is in. So that is the installation of the power entry module. All I need to do now is just test it out, but I can't test it because right now my power cord is missing a connector. So we'll do this in another video, folks. Let's pick it up later. Let's do a part 2, shall we? Well, friends, there you have it. That wraps up another video on this T-11 days and counting. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it wasn't the most professional quality demonstration here of how to do this, but then again, I didn't really rehearse this, just kind of flying by the seat of my pants as I usually do. But hopefully this is instructional for somebody out there. You know, if you're afraid of doing this, don't be too afraid of it. Just make sure you have all the power turned off. Batteries disconnected even would be great. There's no battery power coming out here, but you don't want any kind of stray voltage coming back to these wires as you're playing with them. So that being said, this is the end. Folks, I look forward to your comments. I'll see you there. Continue to spread kindness and spread love throughout this world, throughout your community, throughout your household. Let's change the world together, shall we? All right, see ya.